Thanks, Coach. Let's go ahead and start with questions. I know, Kyle, you said you had one. Why don't you start us off, and then we'll go to Joe Arruda.
Coach, you touched on this a little bit last night, but what did you think? How would you assess Zion Turner's performance? And as he's gotten games under his belt, have you seen him become more calm and more comfortable?
Yes. I think he maybe had to look hard last night and kind of beyond some certain things that happened to find that, but I certainly have. He's like I've said it a couple of weeks now, he's a stoic guy. You know, he took the sack and lost the football. And of course we didn't want him to lose the football, but he read the play right. And there was a receiver that couldn't get to the right spot at the right time. And of course we want him to hold on to the ball, and he'll improve that. But I think that as he plays more and more, we're going to see more good things out of him and less mistakes. Unfortunately, as we all know, playing quarterback in Division I football is not easy, and there's going to be some growing pains, and he's going through them, and we're going through them with him. But that being said, we got to help him. We got to get off the field on third down. We got to give him some short fields with some takeaways, and that's our obligation as a team to do and as a defense to do. So we got to help him.
Go ahead, Joe.
Hey, Coach. You've obviously coached a ton of football games in your time, and I'm sure, and I know that this isn't the first disappointing loss that you've had. Is there anything that makes this one different?
They all suck, Joe. I mean, they really do. They're all equally as disappointing. I don't really believe in moral victories. You either win or you lose. But I do think you can take things out of a loss and apply them going forward. I was thinking back on my career, it's hard for me to remember all those years back. And I can remember one game that was like this, not many, but I can remember one. I was the head coach of the Falcons in 2004. We went into Arrowhead Stadium to play the Chiefs, and we were playing pretty good. Coach Vermeil was their coach, and Priest Willis, the running back, had 8 touchdowns rushing the football against us that day. And we never quit, though, kind of like our guys. We were not going to win the game. At halftime, it was evident, especially in the NFL with the score being was, that we were not going to win the game. But we just challenged each other to keep fighting and keep competing. And the next week, we went to Mile High, which is probably, maybe the second hardest place to play at that point in time. We got down 17-0 early. We came back, and I think we might have beat them 42-17 or 42-20. I don't know. We beat them. We came back and we imposed our will on them. And I felt the same feeling from the guys after the game last night as I did after that Kansas City game. Just this utter disappointment. You just got your ass handed to you. And yet there was a resolve. And so I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to keep leaning on that. I'm going to keep encouraging those guys to be that way. We know it's going to be tough here. We know that there are challenges. My job is to make sure that I help guide through those challenges. So if I walk in there feeling disappointed or looking disappointed, I'm not doing a service to anybody.
Matt, go ahead.
Going back to Zion, he only had 3 incompletions last night.
Yeah, you know what? Stunning, huh?
Yeah, no, one of them
you wouldn't have
stood
thought
out to me.
You wouldn't have thought that, right? I mean, I didn't realize it until I looked at the stats. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. What was he, 14-17 or something like that?
Yeah, 14-17.
Yeah, but they weren't. I know where you're going, but they weren't down the field, right?
No.
Last night.
One of the questions I have, actually, one of his incompletions. If I'm sure you look back at the game, but
yeah,
near the end of the first half, it was 3rd and 5. It was 20-7 at that point. The thing that impressed me was he's not. I don't know if you recognize this, but his pre-snap reads seem to be better and better each week.
Yeah.
The missed throw to Flynn, it seemed like the safety bailed. He recognized that 3rd and 5 towards the sticks. Flynn maybe sort of sat instead of kept going on his route. But the pre-snap reads, is that something that you and the staff have recognized that he's getting better each week?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a student of the game, and he has been for his whole life. And he's a smart kid, and he processes things quickly, and he does go to the right place. That wasn't a great throw, but it was a good read. you know, you talk about the blitz where he got sacked and lost the ball. Initially on the field, our feeling was he needed to get rid of that ball. And you know what? His eyes, when you watch the film, told us that he knew he had to get rid of the ball. He knew where to go with the ball, even under duress, but the guy wasn't there and open to throw it to. So like those are positives. You know, they're just disguised in a real negative play.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Joe, go ahead.
Coach, you watching any NFL games today?
I haven't had a chance to even look at the scores. Obviously we broke down that film and you know, graded it and talked through everything. And now we're watching Michigan. Is there anything good going on?
Well, we thought you were watching Syracuse, not Syracuse. Oh my God, you probably were watching Syracuse, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati.
No.
It's in overtime now, but
Really? Has there been any, I mean, I don't know if there's ever upsets in the NFL, but are there any good games going on?
Well, the Bengals scored with no time on the clock to tie the game 2020, and then the Steelers blocked the extra point attempt.
Oh my goodness. You kidding me?
No.
You know, the NFL games are so often they come down to that last drive or two. You know, I've been in so many of those. That's why when you get in a game last night, where, you know, it's getting out of hand early and you're just trying to, like, you know, corral a little bit and keep it close and keep competing. And I thought maybe last night one of your guys' questions was going to be like, why didn't we go into a hurry up mode on offense? And I was going to tell you, you know, I thought about that, but I felt like the way the score was, the best thing for us to do for our growth long-term was to just play football, you know, and run our plays and try to execute better on defense rather than scramble, because there was a certain point in time where the score indicated it was going to be, you know, likely impossible for us to win it. And so I just made the conscious decision. I told Nick, okay, let's just listen. It's 0-0. How would we handle this? Let's play football. Let's call the plays that we like. Let's put our guys in good situations. Let's just not create chaos and go no huddle. And I mean, a lot of people could second guess that call and they'd be right to do so. You know, I second guess it, but I felt like at the time that was the best thing to do.
Graham, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I know a point of emphasis last week was to try to get people out to the rent, get a big crowd, you know, had over 25,000. I wanted to know your thoughts on the crowd and if that energy, the players were able to feed off that energy last night.
Well, Graham, it was, first of all, driving in on the buses, it just looked different, like the flags flying and the people out there tailgating and the energy. You know, we do our Husky walk. We had to stop the buses probably, you know, 50 to 100 yards shorter where we normally do, because the crowd was so big and we wanted to be able to, you know, say hi to everybody. Walking in, you could feel a buzz, and you know what? You feed off of that. I mean, our players absolutely feed off of that. Our student section was full, you know, before the game. And that's, like I said, it's one of the things that's so disappointing is you're sitting here and you're trying to build a program and you're trying to, you know, engage your fans, and you got to reward them. You know, you got to reward them by showing them something that brings them back. And, you know, that's one of our goals. But man, you know, you play for your fans, you play for your family, you play for each other, you play for the students. You know, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but after the game, you know, we went and we stood in front of the band and they played the fight song. And that's what we're going to do, win or lose, because that's what you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to recognize those people that are supporting you. And we're going to make sure we do that.
Okay, anything else for Coach today? Joe, go ahead, last one.
yeah, Coach, I'm wondering, was there any of the guys that stepped up in the locker room after the game last night and kind of said something to the team, or was it kind of silent in there?
No, you know, that's a great question, man. So here's how it happens after a game, just so you guys know what our routine is we come into the locker room, and win or lose, the first thing we do is we get together in the middle of the locker room, and we get in there tight, you know, win or lose, because we're all in it together. and we take a minute. And I learned this from Mike Holmgren. You know, there's people in our locker room of different, you know, backgrounds, religious beliefs. And so we have a moment of silence where everyone can, you know, regroup or reset or pray in their own way. And then, you know, I typically talk to the team about my thoughts, and they don't really say much, but I can tell when they're listening, you know, when they're engaged. And then I'll ask one of the leaders to come in and just break the team down, and they'll usually have a couple words to say, nothing, you know, too extreme. I think at that point, everyone's kind of diving into themselves and processing their own emotions. But there was nothing that needed to be said, because there was a feeling, you know, there was like a feeling you get, and we just got to keep building on that.
Okay,
I
thanks.
don't mean to be so long-winded with all these answers, but you know what? You guys waited for me, so I'm going to tell you whatever you need to know. You got to be able to do your thing, do your job, and I appreciate it. So,
Well, the Bengals just missed a 28-yard field goal attempt to win
so
it.
wait, so they got one blocked and they missed one?
Yep.
Oof,
They got an extra point blocked and a field goal missed.
oof, not fun. Oh, God dang. I don't think I can watch any games tonight, because I'll just be in misery for losers. All
All right, Coach. Thanks so
right,
much.
I'll see you guys on Tuesday.
Thanks,
Take
Coach.
care.
Good.
All right, have a good night. Bye.
Bye.